what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nathan Nunley Show. I know I did not post last week, and that was because we had a 4-day weekend, and I was at my lovely grandparents' house, visiting them. It's good to be back. A lot has happened recently. I wanted to post an episode Wednesday, talk about something that I had come up with myself. I'd have to explain what it is for you to understand. But I literally could just not get it out. I could not talk. I literally took about 8 retakes, and I finally gave up. I was like, I must not be supposed to talk about this. I don't know. I messed that up dramatically, but who cares? Today, we're going to be talking about, why you need to be more careful in what you read in the news and the media, and just be aware of fake news, as our lovely President Trump likes to call it. So today we're going to be talking about 2 stories. The main story we're going to be talking about today, though, is the Jussie Smollett incident that has occurred over the past few weeks. Sorry, I heard something. That was really quiet because I wanted to notice. If you didn't know, it's like 11:30 at night, so that's why I'm not scared, but that's why I was paying so close attention. Anyway, this does not matter. I'm running out of time because I only have 15 minutes. Anywho, so background on Jussie Smollett. He's a African American homosexual, if you want the politically correct terms for that, and was just casually going to Subway, getting his midnight snack at 2 o'clock in the morning in Chicago, and he was attacked by 2 men. I'm pretty sure he said they're white men, in which they fought him. They called him racial and homophobic slurs, which I'm not going to say for obvious reasons. And they also put bleach on his clothes, which is kind of random. And he ended up with a rope around his neck, which also conveniently happened right under a security camera. I mean, what are the odds of that happening in Chicago? But anyway, so when this first came out, the media jumped on this, like, actor Jussie Smollett, he, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but he's an actor on the show Empire. I don't watch Empire, but if you cared to know that, he's an actor on Empire. Anyway, the media jumped on this, saying, actor Jussie Smollett was attacked. I also forgot to mention this, but the men during the attack screamed, "This is MAGA country." Also kind of ironic, or weird to happen in Chicago, but we all believed it. I didn't believe it, actually, but everyone else believed it, I guess. I don't know. Anywho, but yeah, he's attacked by a racist, and as soon as this came out, he's like, he just played the victim card, I'm a victim, as far as appealing people, okay, how, like, you have cards, like, I'm gonna play, like, the gay card or the black card. Okay, he's got both of those cards. He's probably got the biggest hand out of anybody in here. For example, I'm white and a male, so I have no cards whatsoever. Well, that's according to our society, anyway. But yeah, so he used those cards to play the victim, and ultimately kind of used this to gain, I don't know if he's wanting to gain influence or attention or whatever. His salary was running low. I mean, that's how Colin Kaepernick got a raise on his salary. We're not talking about that today. But yeah, so I don't know what he was trying to gain here, but he did it, and for a while there, the media jumped on. I was like, they talked about it as if it were true, and as we found out this week, it was very far from the truth. it's actually kind of funny if you go back now and listen to all of his interviews. In one interview I just watched, it was an ABC interview, and it said, he said, I feel like if I'd have said the attackers were Muslim, Mexican, or black, you know, the doubters would believe me more. And the irony of that is, as we found out this week, the attack was staged. Jussie, Mr. Attacked, over here, he paid 2 Nigerian men, Mr. Abimbola Asundario and his brother Olabinjo Asundario. They were both hired and given $100 to stage the attack on Mr. Smollett, and also say things like, "This is MAGA country," you know, and everything, right under a security camera. They also were given the money to buy bleach and a random rope for, you know, for evidence, I guess. So yeah, basically, bottom line, this did not happen as Mr. Smollett said that it happened. It is a completely fake story. He only did this for attention, but the news reported it as if it actually happened. This is becoming a problem with this story just as well, or just like, if you remember last month, the kid in the MAGA hat and the whole Native American guy. If you don't remember that, basically, I did a podcast on this, but I got kind of mad at it, so I didn't post it. But basically, there's a group of high school kids from Covington Catholic. They were on a field trip to it was the March for Life in D.C. that weekend. They were there. The Native American, people were shouting chants or not shouting chants. They were shouting really bad things at the group of kids. I don't know if they were making fun of them because they were Catholic or white or wearing MAGA hats or what, or probably all of the above. But they were shouting stuff at them. So the kids, this is all boys' school, by the way. The boys got together and were like, you know what? We're gonna drown out them by doing some school chants. So they started chanting, and right after that, a random Native American guy walks up, who is actually a liberal activist. He's been in a few different situations, but that wasn't important until after this all came out. Anyway, but yeah, so the Native American guy walks up, beating a drum, and gets right in the kid's face. And this one kid wearing a MAGA hat looks at him, and he's kind of confused, and he just kind of smiles at him. So, but the only thing that was posted by the media at first was a video of the kid smirking at the Native American guy beating his drum. So it looks like he's mocking him. Which, if you watch the whole video, you see that the Native American guy walked up to him and started the whole thing. Anyway, bottom line, both of these stories that I just mentioned did not happen the way the media portrayed them to happen, and have used them to push an agenda. I don't know what the agenda is. I don't know if it's for the Democrats, for socialism, for one world order. I don't know what it's for or what the motive is behind it. I don't know any of that, but they are pushing an agenda, and no one else realizes it. Except me and a few other people. But yeah, so just be careful in what you read and how you portray. Always wait until everything comes out. That's the problem with the media right now. When they report something, they don't give you the information. They tell it to you in a certain, like for example, you know, let's say I got in a fight with Billy over here, right? Okay, so let's say Billy is Hispanic. Okay, so okay, I'm also a fan of Trump. I like what he's doing in the White House. So let's say I was wearing a MAGA hat, right? All this is completely unnecessary to what happened, right? But But Billy, the Hispanic, I didn't pick the appropriate name here. Anyway, which that would be racist of me, so never mind. Billy, let's say Billy came up here and hit me first, right? And then the cameras start rolling. Well, then I have a MAGA hat on, and so I go and punch Billy, and he falls to the ground, and he starts crying, and I start punching him more because I think this is a fight or whatever. Anyway, the news comes out, and instead of saying, this really isn't a big deal. I don't know why the news would report this anyway, but just for example purposes, instead of the news coming out and saying, oh, Mr. Nunnally and Mr. Sanchez, got in a fight, or they would, instead of saying that, they would say, white man in MAGA hat, beats up Hispanic, helpless Hispanic, they word it to where it supports a certain, basically, like, political party at this point, which is not the purpose of the news. The media should give us the information and wait for everything to come out, and then give us what happened after the fact. So for this story right here, the Jussie Smollett situation, they should have came out and said Jussie Smollett was allegedly attacked. They should have left all of the extra stuff out of it, because you know why? Because it doesn't matter. Why they put that stuff in there is to divide us Americans. Look, I don't care what skin color you are, what sexuality, what ethnic group, I don't care. At the end of the day, we are all Americans, and that should be the only thing that matters. But the news media, and the Democrats especially, they always try to go out and point out these random factors that don't even have anything to do with the situation. It was completely irrelevant that the attacker said this is MAGA country. Now, if Jussie Smollett wanted to come out and say, hey, this is what they said, I mean, whatever, But the media cannot do this because they're supporting one party, and that is unfair to the other party, which that would be the Republican Party. But going back to the agenda being pushed, like I said, I don't know what is being pushed or the motivation behind it, but there is something being pushed that none of us can see, and we need to get a hold of it before it gets out of hand. Like I said, they always say things to divide the American people. If we're all against each other and at each other's throats all day, you know how easy it would be for another country to come in here and just, invade us. I'm not saying we're going to get invaded, but especially for the pushes of socialism by the Democratic Party, very alarming. Especially gun control. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'll talk about that another day. But it's all very, it's designed. It's definitely designed, and there is an agenda that we don't know about, and we should all be very cautious and look into the facts ourselves. I always encourage people to look at, the facts and research the topics themselves, not just going off what the media says, because you can't always trust them. Anyway, I have 1 minute left. I think today went pretty well as far as getting all the information in there. If you want to reach out to me, be on the show, or just reach out to me, period. My Instagram is what is it? I think it's Nate Nunnally. Yeah, it's Nate Nunnally _1776 on Instagram. I also have a website that is linked to my profile on here. Also, coming up in the weeks to come, I will be doing an interview with the one and only Clint Johnson. If you know who that is, it'll probably come out in 2 weeks because I have to make an episode on what we're going to be talking about the week before, so it all makes sense. Or it may not, who knows. This is a very scattered thing. But anyway, thanks everyone for listening and tuning in this week, and I hope to see you all guys next week.